This is Albert from Leap Pro Fight TV. I'm here with Albert. I don't know much about you, Albert. So I want my fans or the followers of Leap Pro Fight TV to get to know you a little bit. Muay Thai fight or K1? What style do you fight?
Well, typically, right now, Paul, my coach, has me fighting Muay Thai.
All right.
My heart is with K1 though. I like that a little bit, slightly more aggressive style, but I guess, I don't know, I'm happy to do both for the time being. So,
Yeah. I think you're early on in your career as well. So ideally, you just want the fights. The fights are more important. So as long as you're getting the fights,
yeah, of course,
that's all good. But why K1 over Muay Thai? What is it about K1 that appeals to you more than Muay Thai?
I don't know. I guess my style, like stylistically speaking, about myself, I really like the stance switches and stuff like that, and I like to keep combinations like fast and snappy and constant angle changes. Muay Thai, typically they start off a little bit slow and they build up. I just want to get straight to it, I guess.
Yeah, K1 fighters don't mess about, man.
Yeah.
They don't mess about. They go straight into it. Do you think do you watch a lot of K1, presumably? So do you think the K1 doesn't get enough love?
I think so too. I think right now Muay Thai is such a fast-growing sport that it's kind of overshadowing K1. Whilst K1's kind of had like its golden era, a couple of decades ago. And now it's kind of in that, I guess, hobbyist. It's in that niche where people that know about this, like do the sport, they know about it, but no one else really does.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of those sports that if people really like gave it a chance and got to know it, it'll be even more popular than boxing because. I don't know, in my personal opinion, it's...
So I have mixed feelings about K1, right? And I not mean about K1 as a sport,
Of course.
but in terms of obviously I do a lot of media stuff, right? And I tell you what I find is that promoters, they seem to go for the easy route.
Yeah.
So like, for example, I've been at MTGP shows and the K1 cars, the venue's kind of empty, but the fight is fucking unreal. Like they're just unreal. And then you got the Muay Thai ones. And I sometimes think, I think the promotion missed an opportunity there.
Of course, yeah.
Because it's quality fights. When they start posting those fights on, let's say, socials and on YouTube, they generally do more numbers. Because sometimes I think it's not a perception, but I think whereas you've got a lot more people that have grown up in Muay Thai,
Of course.
and what they've done is they put K1 as like a secondary thing. And I feel like there needs to be a promotion that just says, you know what, K1, that's it. It's in its own entity, it's just K1, rather than it being like, there's a bit of Muay Thai, there's a bit of K1. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think it all comes down to where the trendiness of it is. Right now, you've got one championship and they're pouring everything into their Muay Thai fights. You've got so many great fights happening like every Friday night with their Friday night fights and stuff like that. Whilst they're like K1 scene, where they have signed to their promotion so many like top K1 fighters, they kind of start to neglect it. Are starting to neglect it now. Well, my personal favorite fighter is Chingiz Alazov.
Okay.
He's got that, he's got that beautiful K1 style. He's got like the snappy, like Japanese, karate kicks mixed with like Muay Thai. It's beautiful to watch, but he's like a guy that hasn't had a fight in over a year now, and he's starting to win championship, and it's like, so I think it's just getting a bit neglected, and I think all the other promotions are just following suit. So you get a lot of like bigger names coming up through Muay Thai right now, and I think that's the reality of it.
Do you think you're going to be part of the journey for it to come, let's say, get that popularity?
For K1?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't had a K1 fight yet. It's just been all Muay Thai so far, but I hope so. Of course, I'd always like to back myself, but then again, I don't want to be cocky or anything like that. I do believe through my kickboxing / Muay Thai journey, we're going to have some great fights, but at the end of the day, it's too early to tell. And I guess we'll see at the next interview.
There's nothing wrong with you being a bit cocky. Do you know what I mean?
Of course not.
I think there's a difference between ego and being confident.
Of course.
So you've got to be confident in your abilities. Like you're not stepping in that ring because you think you're going to lose. You're stepping in that ring because you think you're going to win that fight. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. It's nice to get that kind of from you. I can see that excitement in yourself.
Absolutely.
I would love to see you in a K1 fight. I can't lie. I would be very excited to see you at a K1 fight. It'll be interesting. Your Muay Thai, what is it? C class, B class, what are you fighting?
So right now we're just doing N class fights, just getting that experience. I'm hoping we're gonna do maybe C class with elbows or pro am like really soon. Hopefully by the maybe mid next year, mid 2025. In reality, I haven't been at it for that long. I had my first N class Muay Thai fight after only 6 months training. Paul kind of like my coach thought he saw me coming in every day, you know, putting in the work, sometimes even twice a day. And I guess I kind of got fast tracked to that, you know, fighting. I had a good few interclubs, you know. So it's like I said, too
Do
early
you
to
feel
tell.
like, for example, all right, so I know you say you're fighting Muay Thai, but until you get to like let's say A class and B class,
Of course.
the style is very similar to K1. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You don't
absolutely.
have as much the elbows and stuff like that. So it's very similar to your K1 style. But still, in terms of your like development as a fighter, I think that's quite good.
I think what it comes down to for me, I don't like clinching. It's not necessarily that I'm bad at it. We train clinch like multiple times a week,
Okay.
but I don't know. I just want to be
You
at
just
a
want the pace
distance.
of it. You
Yeah,
want the
absolutely.
fight.
I want to keep it at a pace. I want to keep it, you know,
Nice.
I want to keep it techie, I guess.
Nice. How old are you?
How old am I? I just turned 20.
20.
Yeah,
You're
20
still
years old.
young. You still got a nice future ahead of you. Get a couple more fights in. Why not get on that K1 radar? There are there are a lot of K1 fights out there, but they just seem to be like I find that as like a secondary or like not
course,
the
of
main
course.
on it. So they kind of go under the radar a little bit. Like we're guilty of it as well when we're matching, right? We'll match the Muay Thai guys first because our show's predominantly Muay Thai.
Yeah.
So let's match the Muay Thai and then K1's a bit of an afterthought. And it's interesting when you say that to me because I started thinking myself and I started thinking, yeah, we do that as well. We're kind of guilty of it. But I can't lie, like some of the guys that I know that I really like watching, you know, your Real Wong, K1 background, Tom Furt, K1
Yeah,
background,
absolutely.
Jamie as well.
Yeah,
Jamie
Jamie.
from here,
Yeah.
got a wicked K1 style. So there's a lot of fighters that I actually know and I really admire. And you're right, they're really good K1 fighters. And when they go into K1, it's an exciting fight. Because I've been to shows where I really do enjoy the K1. Maybe there's something there in it. Maybe someone needs to kind of take that on and just say, you know what, let's put the K1, let's keep the action up.
I think Jamie specifically, Jamie Perch is a big influence on me. Of course, he came from this gym, and unfortunately, he doesn't spend as much time here as he might have been before I was here. So when he does come in and do the classes, you know, I'm just always there. I'm soaking in every bit of information I can from him. Because stylistically speaking, his style is just absolutely beautiful. And when you spar the guy as well, you don't know, you got so much coming at you, like you struggle to keep up. And it's a level that I do aspire to be at one day, whether that's 10 years down the line or whenever, you know, if I ever get there. So yeah, absolutely. He's a big inspiration to me.
You reek a lot of passion. Like you can tell, like even just talking to you. First time I met you, but I can see the passion that you have for K1. So I very much like to see you doing really well in K1. You keep doing well. You keep doing good. You get your fights. You get your
Absolutely.
fights. I think at the kind of level that you're at right now, if you're honest, like your end class and your very similar to your K1 style.
Of course, yeah.
So you can still develop your K1 style. And then when you start kind of making a name for yourself, there'll be fights out there. Definitely be fights out there.
Well,
Exciting.
you see, I train clinch a lot as well, so maybe I definitely don't want to shy away from Muay Thai either. After all, it is a bigger sport right now. So
Yeah.
I definitely love to be doing maybe them.
Do you think like Muay Thai is what MMA is to Muay Thai? Like Muay Thai is to K1.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know how like you're losing fighters from Muay Thai to MMA, you're losing K1 fighters too. Because we do some like with the kickboxing shows as well. Those guys are going to K1. So you lose the top kickboxers to K1, and then you lose the top K1 fighters to Muay Thai, and it just seems to be all the way up.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's just how it works. But at the same time, with Muay Thai, I wouldn't say you're losing a lot of them to MMA. I feel like a lot of the Thai guys specifically, and even guys coming up from England in the Muay Thai scene,
Yeah.
I do believe I know obviously one championship's around now and they're starting to pay these like nice, you know, juicy bonuses to fighters and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I feel like Muay Thai and kickboxing are sports that you're only making decent money when you're at the very top. So everyone that does those sports in between, they do it for the love of the sport. And they do it because they love to scrap, really. So I don't really see like too many guys, you know, got to transition into MMA, you know. But of course, there are the odd few, the outliers, in my personal opinion.
Do you think there's like an opportunity for K1 to really kind of make it big now compared to before? Because previously you had shows and ticket sales, and now you have a lot of like online traffic.
Of course.
So whereas if your fight's an interesting fight and it's one that entertains, you sometimes will transcend that show. So the show's average views might be like, let's say 2005, right?
Yeah.
But if your fight is the banger of fight, that'll do 15, 20,000. So now you're reaching a bigger audience.
Of course.
And suddenly you can start that conversation and start saying, well, actually, look, K1's bringing in more views. There's a demand for it, shall we say?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it comes down to if you have a good fight, and like you're saying, a lot of people are starting to watch it, regardless of the style, your name's getting out there. So people, as soon as your name's out there and people know who you are, they're going to watch your fights regardless of what discipline it is. For instance, Nathan Benden's fighting K1, fought K1 a couple months ago, and now he's fighting against a Muay Thai Grand Prix in a couple of days. I think regardless of what style he's fighting, people are going to tune in and watch it because he's such a big name. So I think if you really get your name out there, you get your fights in, and most of all, you're an exciting fighter, I think people are going to watch you regardless. And I think that's the way forward for K1. Just have those exciting fights and people are going to tune in regardless.
So let's talk about your Muay Thai fight. You got your fight coming up now.
Absolutely.
What can we expect? So if no one's seen you fight, bearing in mind you got your K1 thing as well, what can we see in terms of your fight?
So, before I went home for the summer, because I'm a university student here in Bristol. Before I went home for the summer, we had the student boxers training in the gym. So a lot of our sparring rounds were, just boxing rounds because these student boxers typically aren't, they're not actual fighters. It's a little bit, it's easier to pick them apart with, one, maybe two shots. You can literally throw your hand out there and just bang, and smack them in the face.
Yeah.
So you don't really have to try really hard and chain your combinations together to actually get it through. So my style, I think stylistically speaking, at the start of the year, I really suffered because of that. And I ended up being like a bit flat-footed, Now I'm kind of, reconfiguring myself into more of a high pressure fighter on the front foot a lot of, heavy boxing combinations.
Settling into it.
Yeah, and switching stances quite a bit.
What fight number is this one for you?
This is going to be number 2, but we've had quite a few interpods. Yeah, really green at the moment.
Wicked. That is quite fresh.
Yeah, it's fresh.
But you obviously had your first one. What was the first one like?
You know what?
Like in terms of nerves and stuff.
I think I wasn't as nervous as I should have been. I definitely wasn't as nervous as I should have been, and I think that kind of cost me. I did end up losing that fight, and it wasn't pretty, I have to admit. I pretty much fucked my foot in the second round, and I was like hobbling there in the corner, and this guy, I have to give him his flowers. He's fought in a regional stadium, in Thailand literally a couple of weeks ago. I still keep in contact with him. Wicked fighter. And I think me being so new to the sport at the time of that fight, whilst he was quite an experienced guy, it really showed. And the fact that the nerves didn't really get to me as well, I think I didn't take it seriously as I probably should have done, which this time round is not going to be the case. I'm going to be preparing for it, 100% regardless.
Because that gives you like a confidence boost, like in the sense that your first fight is not against like a Mickey Mouse fighter.
No,
it's like
absolutely.
someone that's proper experienced, and you give them a fight, right?
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's got to boost your confidence inside a little bit.
It does need to be a boost of confidence to me. I don't need like confidence. I know how I can fight.
Excellent.
I do it every day, but it's and secondly, I don't want to take easy fights. I don't believe in it. I feel like it's bad for the sport. I really dislike seeing mismatches in cards where one guy's just beating on the other guy. I think it's unfair, especially at the early ages of the sport. When you get those types of fights, the loser tends to just quit. It's not good for the sport. It's not good for anyone. And also for the winner, it brings a lot of false confidence, which when he goes and fights on his own level, it might cost him in the end. He's, he might be thinking he's a shit when in reality he might not be. But I think
It
at
kind
the
of
end of
goes
the
back
day,
to why you're fighting, though, isn't it?
yeah, of
Like
course.
for example, you're not fighting because you want to be the next Conor McGregor.
Mm,
Like, sorry, that's not the word. You're not fighting because you want to be the next Jake Paul. You're fighting because you enjoy the fight.
yeah, absolutely.
You enjoy that development in yourself. So
Atmosphere,
you get what comes.
electricity.
It's about you. The journey's about you,
Yeah,
not about padding your record
of course.
so you can get a contract with Eddie Hearn or something like that. It's just about it's about getting in there and getting that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to go 0-5 fighting, good guys at my level, then go 5-0 fighting,
Excellent.
fighting, whoever, picked off the street. That just comes down to me as a person, so.
Listen, I've enjoyed chatting to you.
Yeah.
I'm definitely like you had to watch. This is your second fight. I'm excited to see where you go with this. I think you'll go quite far, and it's that mentality that you have that will carry you. you're gonna get wins and losses. That's
Absolutely.
constant.
Yeah.
But if you're taking those tough fights, you don't realize how you're building yourself. Like
Cool.
you mentioned Jamie Petch, right? I remember following Jamie Petch from years ago, and he was class, and then he's had his losses, and he's had his wins, and he's become who he is now because of all of that. Because he has never backed down from a fight. He always wants to go. He always wants to put it out there and so on. And he's built himself to what he is now, and he's earned what his position is now.
Absolutely.
And I kind of feel like you're going to be down that road as well.
Well, we'll see. It's definitely what I aspire to be. Like in the gym, he is my idol, along with my coach Paul. Paul is a wicked coach. You know, pushes me to the limit.
Super passionate.
Absolutely. You know, it's what I like about Paul is he's a guy that he's just going to tell it to you straight. If you're shit, he's going to tell you shit.
Yeah.
Get better. You know, and I respect that.
You need that from your coach.
Absolutely. Because no one's lying to you and you know exactly where you're at. And I think that's something that's going to, you know, progress the further in I go, you know.
Yeah, Paul definitely is. He doesn't mess around. He tells you exactly how it is. Yeah, I've known Paul for years. Always a straight talker. No matter what you do with him, even like us streaming his show, we've had some interesting conversations, shall we say?
Absolutely, yeah.
And you always know where you stand with him, shall we say? So, Jaron, it was nice chatting to you.
Nice chatting to you as
I
well.
look forward to seeing you fight, and yeah, excited to see where the future takes you, bro.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your
you.
time.